All right, YouTube, we have a video from my dog, Zevi. I've seen his content on TikTok before, but I haven't really tapped in on the tube. I didn't know he was really tapped in on the tube. As always, gonna pre-follow the like. We'll make sure you turn on the bell. I didn't even peep I didn't have the bell on. Today we're gonna get some lore about when Michael Jackson bought the Beatles. I've heard of this story, but I don't know every little detail. But what better way to celebrate a trailer of the Michael Jackson movie coming out than revisit in the past for a brief moment? As always, the main man's lie. Silent Tail Time to provide you content. But enough rigmarole. Lock me in.
Hardest things in life to get over is the feeling of betrayal, especially if
Okay.
that betrayal came from a friend. Just as Paul McCartney, he felt betrayed by his friend Michael Jackson, never spoke to him again. Now I know what you're thinking.
Why?
What did Michael do? Well,
He bought the Beatles? Is that
this whole
why?
thing started with the phone call. Paul was chilling at the crib. Ring,
Did he
ring,
own
ring.
the
Said,
Beatles?
hello. The voice said, hello. Paul said, that voice petite? Who this? The voice said, I'm gonna let that slide. It's Michael Jackson. I just want to say I rock with your music, man. Paul said, yo, Michael Jackson, I rock with your music too. Let's get in the studio.
Everybody
So
rock
go
with
to the
music.
studio. They start putting in some work, making some songs, some hits. And through that, a friendship blossoms. So Paul says, you know,
Okay.
Mike, I've been in this game a long time. I rock with you. Let me give you some advice. You gotta own the publishing to your
Oh.
songs, which is basically like owning the copyright of a song. And when you own
Which
the
gives you the
copyright of
bread,
something, that
no
gives
matter
you
what.
the ability to sell that something wherever you want.
Right.
As you can imagine, that makes a lot of money. So what record labels usually do is they take that publishing, that copyright, and give artists a small percentage while they sell
Take
the
the
song
big
wherever they
percentage, yeah.
want. So again, Paul McCartney is telling this to Michael Jackson.
Kind of like
But
royalties.
here's where Paul McCartney has a problem. He shows Michael Jackson a list. He says, look, these are all the songs that I own the publishing to. Mike looked at the list. He said, no, where are them songs that you had with the Beatles? I know them joints making a lot of money. Paul said, look, that's a perfect example of what I was trying to tell you. When we was young, we ain't know nothing about publishing.
So
A
we
record
didn't
label
buy
tricked
it.
us, and they
Now it's
owned
too
all the
expensive.
Beatles songs. Michael said, okay, so what you saying is you ain't got the bread to buy your songs. So I'm going to just buy the songs then. Paul said, he thought Mike was joking. Michael Jackson was not joking. See, what a lot of people don't understand is Michael Jackson wasn't just talented. His work.
Michael Jackson.
Ethic and its lock-in was unmatched. Michael Jackson went and studied music publishing. He learned all the trends, the ins and outs, how much it was going to make. So Mike continues to
himself
tell
ball.
Paul throughout their friendship, I'm going to buy your songs. But Paul continues
Can't
to think
believe
it's
him.
impossible, so Michael Jackson is joking. The label's never going to give up those songs. Michael Jackson don't got the money to buy those songs.
Yeah, I'll tell you a joke, but I never tell you a lie.
Michael tripping. But then Michael Jackson drops the album Thriller and becomes Michael Jackson. He's on top of the world and he makes a lot of money. And here's where things start to get wicked. Now I need you to listen to this next part closely. The Beatles songs were owned by a publishing company that was owned by a billionaire. So this billionaire collected a bunch of songs from Elvis, the Beatles, Little Richard that he liked, and he made a publishing company.
That's kind of cool. It's like, it's not cool. I wish the artist had, the rights to it. But it reminds me of how, like, people become, like, say Pokemon cards or anything you used to like as a kid, even Hot Wheels. You just become a collector. You start, learning about it, and then you go, man, I really like this thing. Let me just get a bunch of it so I can always have something to reminisce about. He did that, except for, like, the publishing rights. So it's like, no matter what, he can always make money off the songs, but also he can listen to the songs whenever he wants because he owns them. There is no, we're recording this commercial, you can't play that song, we're going to get copyrighted. I own that. Play my
Company, right? Now, this billionaire decides, you know what? Music publishing, it's trending down. It's not popping like that. In fact,
Oh, what a
many
guy.
people at the time believed the same thing. But Michael Jackson studied music
Stupid,
publishing,
man.
so he knew that was not true and it was on the rise. So Michael
He bought, exactly, Mike bought low, and these people were selling, thinking they were selling high because they thought it was on the dip, but it's actually the lowest it was going to be. To me, it's like content creation in YouTube. Right now, it's going through a metamorphosis. And, like, there's a bunch of content creators that's been doing it for a while that are going to be leaving soon. There's a bunch of new content creators who are just trying to get in it for the money. And it's, like, at a point where, like, everybody try to do it. But then, like, a month later, it's like, I'm not getting traction. Or all this thing just don't work. Or you blow up all some stupid stuff like the Heart Tour lady. And then now, you broke. You streaming to 2 people. You know what I'm saying? You're not on the come up. You hit the fall off. Shout out to Jermaine Cole. But you get what I'm saying though? So it's like it's always a buy low, sell high. But if you can't see that's it. Yeah, buy low, sell high. If you can't see the bigger picture, You know, if you're zoomed in, $40 can seem like a lot of money. But then when this thing goes from $40 to $80, that can seem like a lot of money. But if the potential of this thing is like $5 billion, even if you buy in at 1 million, oh my goodness, bro, when you sell, that bag's gonna be crazy. Some people aren't able to see that. In the words of the GOAT Renji Abara, those who aren't willing to sacrifice anything will get nowhere.
Michael Jackson said, you know what? We finna buy that publishing company. So Michael Jackson tells his team to buy the billionaire's publishing company at all costs.
From them, yeah.
The billionaire says, anybody who wants to buy these songs,
can take it.
Give me your best offer. But we started
Stupid,
at 30
man.
million. Now, Paul McCartney also wanted the Beatles songs that were owned by the music publishing company, but he don't got 30 million. So he says, you know what? I'm out. Y'all got it. Michael Jackson sent somebody to check with Paul McCartney. They said, you not buying the songs, Paul? He said, I'm not buying the songs. Mike said, bet. He starts throwing the cash. It goes up to $50 million. He said, I don't care. Buy me them songs. Michael's team told him, look, Mike, $50 million is way too much for music publishing. Mike told him, okay, if you got $50 million in your bank account, then you can give me advice.
You got $50 million, speak up.
Buy me the songs. Michael Jackson buys the songs, which means he bought the music publishing company that owns the songs, the Beatles songs, Elvis songs. And here's where things start to get wickeder. Paul said, oh, bet my friend Michael Jackson just bought my songs. Let me holler at him.
He thought he was going to get it for free.
He called Michael Jackson. He said, hey, man, you bought all my songs. Mike said, I did. Paul said, look, I hate to ask, but like, can you give me like a good price? Can I just buy them from you? Mike's exact words were,
50 mil.
Just business, Paul. Paul was shocked. He said, Mike, I thought we was cool. You're not going to sell me my songs back? Mike said, I just bought these songs for 50 million.
I didn't buy them for you. I bought them for me. It's like when you go to the store, like, if your friend was like, man, I'm craving, like, I don't know, I'm craving Doritos. And he'll get you a big bag of Doritos. Now, this is less money, so it's obviously more petty for, like, you as who bought the big bag of Doritos not giving the Doritos. But let's put it this way. Your friend wants a Lamborghini or a Bugatti, right? You go buy that. It's not even stock. You got it. BMW even. You got it boosted up out to the teeth. And they go, man, always wanted a BMW. You can give me that BMW, bro? You got $1 million car money? Like, I can't, like, even as your friend, I'm taking a loss by giving that to you at that point, if that makes sense. You feel me? So it's just business thing. But I'm sure you could just communicate, bro. Like, oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna go broke. All right, I cut you off 5% of my company. Don't even worry about it. That's a completely different conversation than, let me buy all of it off of you for free. It's like you took your business mind out of it instead of using your friendship as a business tool, which, you know, some people say is kind of sleazy. But then again, to, like, you know, play devil's advocate, these are his songs. So it's like, I would want my back. So I was like, yo, can I get at least 5% off? I only ask for nothing greedy. You know, I know we cool. You paid $50 million. 5% of that is da-da-da-da. I don't really have that, but I can give you at least half of that. That's a completely different story. You see what I'm saying?
Like, you gonna give me 50 million? All right. That's not what he said. I got a little carried away. Mike said, again, Paul, it's just business. Paul was so hurt by this, they never spoke again. But it gets a little bit worse because Michael Jackson was known for his generosity. So throughout the years, many musicians start coming out saying, look, Michael Jackson bought my songs and he just gave them back to me, or he gave me a massive percentage.
That's crazy.
A music legend who was famously screwed by his labels, Michael Jackson gave him all his songs back. Meanwhile, Paul McCartney doing the calculations, he said, music legend screwed by his label. That sound like me. Where my songs back, Michael? You know where Paul McCartney and the Beatles songs were? In commercials. And Paul McCartney never wanted his songs to be in commercials. Michael Jackson, since he owned the publishing, started putting them in commercials. Michael Jackson starts making racks, projected about $50 to $200 million a year.
Why didn't he just ask for like 2.5% and then put out like 2.5 mil? Because he bought it for 50 mil, half 50 mil, so 50% of 50 mil is 25 mil. Divide that by 10, you get 5%. 25 divided by 10 is 2.5. So 2.5 mil is 10%. If you want 5%, you don't have to pay like, what's that, 1.125? million. Still a lot of money, but like, you feel me? Play the actual number games of it. Like, I just want a piece of my songs. These meant something to me. You feel me?
from this music catalog. In fact, when Michael Jackson passed away, the music catalog he bought for 50 million was sold for 1 billion to Sony. And Paul McCartney said,
Cuz
I understand. He said Michael Jackson did what any businessman would have done, and he
type
totally
tech.
gets his decision. And as for the Beatles music catalog, Paul McCartney is actually getting a lot of those songs back
Now
because
that's
of how
tough.
the United States copyright laws work. But sadly, Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney, after their final phone call, never spoke again. So never mix
Ah
business
man.
and friendship. That wasn't the lesson. It was something about betrayal. Don't betray people either. Now, what's interesting to me is I feel like this story doesn't really have a right or wrong answer. At first, I was
Right.
saying, look, Michael
Right.
Jackson just made a business move. Hey, you
Yeah,
got
but
to
it's
do what you got to
also
do.
it's this
Now, I still
songs.
think that, but with a caveat. I actually put myself in Paul McCartney's shoes, and I was thinking,
Hold
bro,
on.
if my boy bought my life's
Y'all see his eyes? What's this? What is that, chat? I'm actually intrigued. This is actually kind of cool. Cause like I was just thinking probably brown eyes, which like I can kind of see. Like what is this like this gray spot under his eyes?
work, I would be heated only because of the fact, listen closely, Paul McCartney didn't know how much his own catalog was
Was
worth,
gonna
how
be
much his
worth, yeah.
publishing was worth. So in Paul McCartney's head, he's thinking, look, Michael Jackson made all this money off Thriller. Michael Jackson got stacks. He's taking my songs and he's probably
Just
gonna
to
make
take
money,
them.
but not as much money as he's already making. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what he was thinking.
Michael Jackson, on
Yeah.
the other hand, knew
Knew
how much he
it
was
was
going
gonna
to
be
make
worth so
off
much more
of
money. Yeah.
Paul McCartney's catalog. So I feel like the difference lies in how much
Understanding.
these two knew about music publishing.
Yeah.
Because again, in Michael Jackson's instance, he's saying, why would
I just bought something that's 50 mil that's gonna be worth billions, and you want to take it back, so you're just gonna earn a quick bill off me. No, but in McCarthy's eyes, it was like you have multiple millions of dollars, and you're just taking my shit to be petty. If that makes sense, that's probably what his mindset was like. Like you don't really need the extra bread.
I give you your songs when I know your songs are going to make hundreds of millions of dollars? I'm giving you hundreds of millions of dollars. Paul McCartney's thinking, bro, you probably gonna make like a million at that. You making like tens of millions on Thriller. Like you just being selfish. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like
Right.
years later, Paul McCartney, after he saw how much his
Realize
music
like
catalog
business
actually
move.
made, said, okay, Michael Jackson just did what any businessman would have done. Now, if you were in Michael Jackson's position, what would you do? Would you give your friend their catalog or would you keep the whole thing? Now,
Again, like I said, he could have took 2.5% off me for the 1.125 mil. Or what's that? Was that 5%? Hold on, let me plug the calculator. Let me plug the calculator. 50 mil times what I said, 5%. It's 2.5 mil. Yeah, so I think I was right. So then 2% will be around 1 mil, and then 2.5% will probably be the number that I was saying before. Yeah. 2.5% is 1.25 mil. So he would have paid 1.25 mil and he would have gotten a lot back. Because this joint, like the price of the company, he said it went for billions. So it at least 20x itself, if I'm not mistaken. It at least 20x itself. So he would have paid 1.25 mil and would have got at least 12. No, I said 12. He would have got at least 24, 25 mil off it. You feel me? Which would have been good money. And then it's still making bread to this day. You feel me? So it's like, yeah, like 2.5%, bro. I would have asked him, like, what can you afford? You feel me? And I'll convert that into percentages. And then if you can't pay like that, any percentages up front, what we can do is this. You could pay me right now and then just pay me like regularly to up your percentage. Like whatever money you get, you can put into this. And then show me how important you see this. And then eventually you be able to buy it off. At some point, maybe not. But as long as you would have been able to put a mill down, then he would have been straight.
now, if some of you are thinking like I was thinking earlier, I was like, what if I give this person a percentage since it's their life's work? And then I was like,
Yeah.
okay, wait, this is their life's work. And remember what Paul McCartney's opinion was on selling his songs in commercials and all that. He wanted to buy his music catalog, Paul McCartney,
So you
not
can
for the money,
control where it was.
just to have his life's work. So I feel like if your friend was Paul McCartney, you went up to him, you're like, hey, can I just give you a percentage? This is about to make a lot of money. They would feel insulted, you know?
See, but I think this is the wrong mindset. I'm not asking him, can I just give you a percentage? It's mine. I have no obligation to give it back to you because you had no ability to get it back for yourself. So this isn't, I stole something from you. Someone else stole something from you and I took that money back. So it, realistically speaking, as like, especially because it's business and not literal cash. Like if someone stole $5 million from you and then I took the $5 million back, I will give you back your money, right? But this is a business. It's a work. It's a service. It's doing other people justice, and that's how we're getting paid. It's not your money. It's your music, but it's not your money. The money is coming from people enjoying the service. So I just took the rights to distribute the service, which is giving me bread. You feel me? So as my homie, you should be looking at it as like, yeah, this other man was making like about $1 million of my, at least my homeboy making $1 million off my, and me and him got stuff together. So my stuff only gonna sell more. He gonna get more bread off that. I'm gonna get bread off our collabs. Like there should be no animosity there. So it wouldn't be, can I just give you a percent? It's how much money do you have? How much of this can you afford? I'm gonna be honest. I'll tell you the business secret. I think this is gonna be worth billions of dollars. So I think you should buy it now. You feel me? I would just approach it that way. And if he took that as some type of disrespect, me putting him on, then it's like, cool, bro. Cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like they would be like, dude, I don't want to make money off of my songs. I just want to have my songs. So at that point, I'm saying, ooh, more power to me. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye. Nah, but in all seriousness, I don't know if I would have the heart to sell my boy's songs if I knew my boy, like, didn't really want me to do that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, how well did they know each other in the first place? If I'm Michael Jackson, like, are you really my boy like that? Like, we cool. Like, we made a couple songs together. We broke bread together. Like, we was cool.
But like, you're not my day one.
$100 million, you my $1 billion boy? Like,
you're not even my day two, gang.
I'm gonna throw away a bag for you? I'm gonna throw away a Billy for you? Like, come on, bro. We wasn't in the trenches together. Like, you just gonna have to be upset, Paul. Stop it. What was the main lesson of the story? What were we talking about? So we'll end it all by saying betrayal is bad. But it's kind of a case-by-case basis at the same time because everybody has a different opinion on what
bro.
Betrayal.
Okay, bro. Shout out Zevi. Fire video about Mike Jack. Appreciate y'all for watching as always. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay hydrated. As always, you know it's time to catch me next. Peace.